The SU-34 fullback NATO name is here, guys. It is in the dev server, so let's take a quick look on the aircraft itself, the actual fly model of it, if it's actually as a bus as people think, if it has good weapons. Of course it has the sensors, everything. Let's take a proper look on the aircraft and give my first impressions about the aircraft, because there are some mixed opinions on this. Some people say it will be just trash because it cannot turn. Some people will say it's going to be the best thing ever, and I don't think it's either or, right? But it is a pretty good aircraft. So let's take a look on first the loadouts. So here we are in the hangar, as you see, and it has the normal pylons that the Sukhoi has. So in the middle there, they are more you know, focused on air to ground over here, and of course the normal payloads here. Then in the wings we have two extra, I mean, if you compare the two of them, extra pylons there that you can take better weapon systems. So what are the loadouts that you can take? Of course you can take some air-to-air. You cannot take air-to-air missiles in the middle there for some reason, but yeah, that's it. So you can take R-73s, R-77s, R-27ETs, R-27ERs, so the normal loadouts of an aircraft such as this, right? Then we have TV guided stuff, for example, as the KH-38s, or laser guided in this case. I mean, the icon is a little bit weird, but yeah, laser guided stuff, laser guided bombs, everything, non-guided on the back there. You can take some TV guided stuff like the KH-38s and COP 1500 KRs and stuff. You have GPS guided with the new Grom-1 missile, which is pretty much a cruise missile. Doesn't have 120 kilometers of range that they say it has, but it has a lot of range, and it's pretty you know, it's pretty good. It's gonna be pretty interesting. It's GPS guided, so yeah, you have GPS guided glide bombs, as you see with the Grom 2, for example. This one, they're the same right now, but yeah, the UPAB 1500, non-guided stuff, obviously rockets, everything. If you take a look here, I mean, look at the size of the stuff that we can take. So non-guided rockets, guided bombs, non-guided bombs, guided missiles, you know, TV, GPS, laser, guided bombs, everything. Drop tanks, you can take huge drop tanks on this thing that I don't think you will ever want to use them. So the payloads are pretty amazing. What about sensors, guys? Well, sensors, we have some interesting things. We have our first PESA radar. Yes, the Super Legendary already had technically a PESA radar, but this is the first that it's actually like really, it makes a difference, you know. I'm gonna show to you guys, but yeah, it's amazing. This radar, probably the best radar in the game, with 120 kilometers of range. It's just amazing, amazing radar. Of course, we have the Platan low light TV pod in the middle there that I'm gonna show to you guys, and of course the SPO L150, which is, I think, the Pastel, which is a pretty advanced RWR as well. Okay, guys, so yeah, that's for the sensors. Of course, very modern RWRs and stuff. Has only 98 countermeasures. I don't think it's a lot, but still. The BR, of course, it is 13.3, which is kind of weird. I still believe that it should be higher because of the radar, but still. And 12.7 for our top tier for tanks, right? So let's fly a little bit, check it out, a little bit of the flight model and how it feels. So here we are with the cockpit. Very amazing cockpit. Look at this, baby. It really is pretty cool, isn't it? It's just amazing. And of course you can even change these to use different things, right? So if we go to MFD over here, you can change it up. You can turn it off, apparently. You can do a repetition of the HUD, INS system, the TV system, the radar. You can change these ones. You can change those ones as well. It's just a whole bunch of things. And yeah, very cool, very modern cockpit, of course. Yeah, it's a huge aircraft, man. It looks like a bomber when you're flying around. It's just really cool. Yeah, look at it. I mean, it's just amazing. And take a look on the radar speed right there, guys. This is one of the things that I wanted to show to you guys. The radar is a PESA, so look at the speed of this detection. It's pretty amazing. Look at the effects of the vapor there. But yeah, it is amazing, man. The speed of this radar is just, I mean, it's just nothing else in the game that has this type of speed, right? So yeah, it's basically always detecting something, right? It's always updating the targets and stuff. It's really, really fast. I mean, it still takes a little bit of time. I have a feeling that it might be even, like... I'm pretty sure that PESA radars are a little bit faster than this, but look at this. It's just instantaneous, right? So, yeah, very, very good radar for air-to-air because of that. You can just use your mighty R-77s over here, and yeah, it's just very, very easy radar to use. It has a data link of only 4 missiles instead of the 8 of the F-15E, so it lacks on that, but everything else should be better than the F-15E because it is a PESA, on the air-to-air at least, right? On the maneuverability side of things, I mean, look at this, I mean, oh my god, it's such... I mean, look, I mean, even at these, even at the higher, like, things over here, it is still... like high angles, it is still pretty fast to identify all the targets that are flying around there. It's just really, really good. Before we go to the flight model, actually, I just want to show everything on the radar. We do have a search GMTI and a TWS GMTI. If you watch the video of the... oh, we have a target over here. Yeah, see? So it can detect ground targets and lock on to them, as you see. The only thing is that they gotta be moving, just like the F-15. Okay, so it's not like the SU-24. The SU-24 can actually detect targets that are standing still. This one cannot do that, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. I don't mind it, but it is, you know, you gotta think about it a little bit. It's just a very, very fast... radar anyway, right? And it has an enormous amount of range over here. So yeah, the RWR, as you see, it's pretty much the same. No malls, no anything like that. Let me see. Yeah, it doesn't have a helmet mounted sight, something that the F-15 has as well. But you do have your like normal vertical like things as well that you can use. So it's pretty good. The radar is better, just that it has some other things that are worse at this certain things, you know. So yeah, pretty good radar. The best of the game for sure. Like, look at the speed of this thing. Look at how much is actually detecting, and it's just so fast. It really is a good radar. Yeah. But anyway, let's test the last sensor before we go to the flight model, which is that little thing in the middle there. This is... oh my god, I just got blinded by that. Oh my Jesus Christ. Why is it so... it's way too strong, man. It's way too strong. We need to get darker over here for some reason. Yeah, I think that happened in the live stream as well, the dev stream, so hold up. Watch out if you're with your eyes if you're gonna test that, by the way. There we go, now we can use it. So here we have a darker setting for us to actually test that lighting system. But basically it's in the middle of the engines there, and it's the integrated sighting system, right? It is using IR and stuff, but it's not a thermal system. So it's basically a very, very advanced night vision. But it's not definitely not a thermal system. You can see some targets that are just hotter, but not because they're producing heat, just because they have more light, IR light from the sun or something, or not the sun, the moon, right? So yeah, as you see, it's really hard to find a target. I mean, there's a target right there, right? But I cannot see it, yeah, unless I see it. So it's problematic, okay? It's problematic. It's not the same as the good old thermal systems that I thought this thing would have. But the Russians love these low light kind of systems that are... it's like, it is a night vision system, but at the same time, it's a little bit weird and different. So I don't know exactly how they work, but yeah, it's different. It really does help in darker situations, but when you have a lot of light, like in the moon and stuff, it's not really the best thing ever. The gimbal limit is pretty good, which is pretty good. Look at this. I mean, it's just pretty much a normal like night vision system or something, right? So those are the systems that we have in this aircraft, okay? This looks beautiful. And oh my god, this fly model is... oh, I love it. Although it's heavy, you can do some things, this thing. So we're gonna test out the new weapons that this aircraft has, because normal guided bombs and stuff you already know and love, and you're already know what it is, right? But we have some new weapons for this aircraft. The first one is, of course, the KH... where is it? It's not the KHD. It's the KH-36, but it is the Grom 1. This is pretty much a cruise missile, okay? It doesn't have as much range as you think it has, but it is pretty good. For some reason, my afterburners are a bit bugged, okay? So don't mind that. I need to probably restart my game. I will do after I end recording, right? But as you know, for example, you can use it in a tank, of course, but you can also use it in... default view for some reason, but you can basically select a base, for example, and fire these babies, and they are GPS guided, right? So yeah, see, and once they drop, they have these wings and they fire up, right? They fly high and they will get to those targets, and they're GPS guided, right? So for example, I chose the bomb, the base there, and they are GPS guided, so they are gonna go there with the range that they have, right? So it's a pretty good weapon, but it is GPS guided after all, so you cannot fire in moving targets or anything like that, because you will just miss. So just think about that before you use them. It's pretty good, but they're not the best thing ever against the tank. It's just a very good thing against bases and stuff like that. Very good payload. As you see, can destroy bases kind of easily. I mean these bases, but anyway, so they're the ones in the middle. Then we have the Grom 2, which is the one that the wing that it looks similar. This is the same, but it is a glide bomb instead of a missile, right? So if we fire, you'll see that it opens its wings and it flies around. It doesn't have like a propellant or anything like that. It's GPS guided as well, so GLONASS, right? It's not GPS, it's GLONASS, but you know what I mean. And yeah, it's going to go to the target where you chose. So I chose the base, it will go there. So it is pretty cool, but as useful as it can be in a GPS guided bomb, right? And then we have another glide bomb, which is the 1500 UPOB over there that we have some of them. We have 3 of them, as you see. So these are very large and very interesting. So that it works in the same way. You can choose a target with this. Never use your night vision in the middle here, and it will just point to the target, click to drop the bombs, right? And they will guide themselves to the target. As you see, they're pretty precise, and I mean, you don't even need to be precise because it's 1500 kilograms, but yeah, it's a pretty good bomb, really is. Yeah, as you see, very good, GPS guided as well, another glide bomb. And the last one, that it's a new variant of a bomb that we already have, the COB 500 KR. I have a feeling that this is something that finds targets that are still moving or something like that. I honestly don't know exactly, because it's pretty much the same, but at the same time is not. So I don't know exactly what this is. We need to wait and see the you know, the data mines and stuff. Let me see if it's guiding the target. No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. So maybe it's not what I thought it was. Maybe it just has more range or something. But it is a new variant. It's the COB 500 KRM. So it probably has more range or something, but it's not guiding onto the target for some reason there. So yeah, these are the weapons. So let's talk about the flight model to end the video. So we grabbed kind of a normal loadout here for air-to-air, a lot of missiles, 10 missiles, and of course full fuel load with 56 minutes. This thing carries a lot of fuel. Remember guys, this thing has a new engine, yes, a new version of the engine that produces a lot more power as well, which is weird considering that the F-15E of the Americans are not receiving a new engine. This thing is, and the Israeli F-15I is receiving a new engine, but yeah. Oh well, right? So we take off, and look, I mean, it is heavy. I'm not gonna lie, it is a heavy aircraft. It has 22 tons empty, so don't expect this thing to actually be on the same level of some of the other fighters that we have, but it can fight. It's not like a brick, you know. It is still a very viable fighter. We have still our gun over here. We have our missiles. We have our good radar. So for BVR, for everything with that, it is pretty good. And for, I mean, we are very heavy over here, okay? And for turning, I mean, look at this. It's not, like, amazing. And it loses a lot of energy. But it can, like, it can fly. That's the thing. It's not as bad as people think. It's not as good as people thought it would be. Like, if you think that it's because of the canards you have an enormous amount of AOA, I mean, you are right, but you lose a lot of energy because of the weight and stuff and the amount of lift that this thing needs to produce. It just loses a lot of energy. So let's, I mean, it takes a lot of time to fly, right? I mean, look at this. Compared to the F-15, it just takes its time accelerating, and it does pull a lot in a certain speed, but it bleeds that speed so much, then you are basically just dead, right? If we take a little bit of the payload off the BVR missiles, for example, let's see that we already fired some of them. Like, let's fire some of these actually in these targets. So we're firing missiles, we're, you know, becoming lighter and stuff, and the situation is changing on the game and stuff, and we are killing targets and stuff. Look at the smoke on this thing. And by the way, look at the the rocket engines of some of these missiles are better as well. Then the aircraft starts to accelerate a little bit more, right? You don't have a lot of fuel, but you still have a lot at the same time, you know, so you have to be careful. See, I mean, it compresses a lot of these speeds. And then at 800, it pulls a little bit more and then stops pulling, right? So it's not as bad as you think, but it is really bad at the same time. If you, of course, use full real control, let me just check what is my button here in the dev. You can indeed do some crazy maneuvers, right? You can do some cobras like this, for example. So yeah, you can do some weird maneuvers if you use full real control, which I think it's kind of weird. I still believe that Gaijin needs to have like a full real control, like not a full real control situation, but I mean, these aircraft guys, they can't do this type of thing, but there is basically just a button that you click and the aircraft lets you do this type of thing. They should add this type of thing, this button that you click and the aircraft will do whatever you want, right? That would be pretty cool. So yeah, you can do some weird maneuvers like things like the Cobra and stuff. And yeah, as you see, I'm almost flat spinning, but I still can control the aircraft very well, and it's very easy. But look at the weight of this thing, man. It's just, oh my god, it's so heavy. So think about an SU-27. It can do the same maneuvers, but not for a while, not as much as the SU-27 SM can. That's the kind of line of thinking that you have to worry about, right? I still believe that these flight models are a bit weird, especially the MiG-29 one, but oh well, right? So yeah, guys, basically this is it for the Duck, the Su-34. Amazing aircraft. I still believe that it will be one of the best aircraft in the game. People tend to overrate the necessity or underrate the necessity of an aircraft to be good in a dogfight in top tier. It doesn't need to be good. It can do well with just the BVR stuff and R-73s. But it does have some drawbacks. You can fight in a dogfight, but you won't have long. You have to kill the target very fast, you know, and fire your R-73s very fast. You don't have a helmet as well. So there are some problems out there. You gotta watch out. You gotta try to stay fast and not fight the enemies on a head-on on a certain situation where there's too many of them to get in a dogfight. But in the BVR, I mean, best aircraft of the Russian right now, for sure, I think, because you have the best radar. The radar of the SM is really hard to use. This radar is very easy. It's very, you know, amazing. So there is situations where the Su-34 will be better than the Su-27, and then there are situations where it will be worse. You just have to find the right circumstances and where to fly with them, with the aircraft, right? Remember, I was pretty heavy in the fuel and stuff. If you are light, I don't advise you guys to fly this aircraft too light, because you need the fuel to get to places and stuff. You can do much better, right? But still, this is the Su-34. Excited to fly this thing. Finally, a PESA radar in the game. And yeah, see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe and expect an F-117 video very, very soon. Okay? See ya, guys. Bye.